we have Luna, right? Cockapoo.
Yep, she is a Cocker Spaniel and Poodle mix.
Oh, nice. 17 pounds. Looks like your reason for reaching out is the off-leash obedience. You want recall, leash reactivity. So go ahead and tell me about the leash reactivity.
Um, I'd say like the leash reactivity is more towards like bigger dogs, I'd say, most of the time, actually 100% of the time.
Okay.
I've noticed that she's gotten a little bit more timid, like around bigger dogs, but like she wouldn't ever do anything. She just kind of like
Barks.
a little bit lunges forward, yeah, and barks, and that's about it.
Okay. And when did the reactivity start?
I'd say like maybe like 3 months ago or so.
Okay. So
3-4 months ago.
9 months old she was, right?
Yeah.
Anything else I should know about the reactivity? So it's just mostly barking, lunging.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I'd say mostly just barking and stuff.
Okay, we also have separation anxiety. So go and tell me about the separation anxiety.
Yeah. So, I mean, just like whenever I leave, I have like a camera at my place. Usually she does like fine for like the first like hour and a half. Like she'll just be like kind of crying and like howling. But after like 2 hours, like she starts to like scratch her like crate and everything, which like is to me like kind of a big deal because like I don't want her to like hurt herself at all. But I'd say, yeah, like definitely after like the 2 hour mark, she becomes like a little bit like too stressed out and starts like scratching at her crate.
Okay, and is this when you leave, or have you created her before when you were at home? And how does that work? Or is she in the crate when she's sleeping?
So I only have her in her crate when I leave my apartment.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, but she sleeps with me.
So all the COVID dogs, and puppies and all, we're telling them, since they're home, working from home and everything, we're telling owners to practice having your puppy created. So if there was no pandemic, and I'm serious, since we're going back to normalcy, what would life look like if there was no pandemic right now? Like, do you guys have like a 9 to 5, or how does a work life or an everyday life look for you?
Yeah, so I work 9 to 5 right now, like in the office, but well, not like right now currently, but I don't see myself going back to the office like anytime soon, just because like my entire team works in New York and I'm the only one based out in Chicago. So like I have the choice whether or not to go in the office, and that's probably not going to be for like another like 3 years. Like maybe even if that, I think they might even change their like entire policy for like us to like work at home like full time if we want. But yeah, but like pre-COVID, I was in the office from 9 to 5.
In New York?
No, in Chicago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So let's say, because we're telling owners who have the 9 to 5 and then would go back to the office when we went back to normal work life, is creating Luna 9 to 5 in another room and just practicing that separation when you're home, which will be even more difficult because you're there and she's like, why am I created? You're over there,
Right.
So that when we do go back to some sort of normalcy, that's not going to be too difficult for her to stay in the crate, because the only thing that'll be changing is just you leaving, right? So we're telling all the owners, 9 to 5 crate time, right? In the middle of the day, you can, do a little potty break for her, but then once 5 p.m. hits, then she's allowed to hop out the crate and just hang out with you guys, right? So that's just like one way to practice, right? Even if
So
you're
do you
not.
think I should start off by maybe doing it like half a day, like have her in the crate like half day for like maybe a week, and then like the next week do it like from 9 to 5? Like, is that like?
It won't have an effect. The longer she's in there, the more acclimated she will be. So like, let's say every time, because you're saying the 2 hour mark, I'm assuming at that 2 hour mark she's let out maybe, or is it the 2 hour mark she kind of, so how does it go? Because you have the camera, so she's in the crate, and then like, is it as soon as you leave she starts to escalate, or does she escalate later?
Yeah, like she starts to like kind of just like cry in her crate and like maybe like howl a few times, but like I'd say like yeah, like after the 2 hour mark, she starts like pawing at her crate, like
Okay.
wanting to get out.
And then does she ever settle, or is she still just
I've seen her settle a few times, but she's mostly like awake the entire time.
okay? Yeah, I'd practice then in the home, and the longer you practice, the more acclimated she will be. So if you keep cutting it short, um, she's never over going to get over that hump of just like you have to relax, because this whining, this howling, this scratching is not going to get you anywhere. So then as soon as she realizes, well, this is worthless, because dogs can't stay in that mindset for such a long time. They just can't, like, it won't work out. So she needs to relax at some point. She can't keep in that mindset. um so there's some ways to practice. If you do want to, if you see yourself just staying home and working from home for a long time, then yeah, I practice, at least like 4 hours of the day, or however you want
Yeah.
to go about it. But it's your house, your rules. Just giving an idea to kind of help address it, because separation anxiety only gets worse and then it gets harder to fix. So if you nip it, if you attack it now, while she's still young, it might be 12 months isn't that young, but I mean, it'll be better before it's a practiced behavior and a practiced mindset. So there's a way to go about that. And if not, we can also address it through the training program and all.
Okay.
um, Separation anxiety. So anything else I should know about Luna?
Um, like just right now, what I've been noticing is that like she, I feel like she kind of doesn't see me as like the pack leader, and
Mhm.
she thinks that she can kind of do like whatever she wants and get away with it. So I just like really want to like build that like bond and like leadership with her, where she like knows like I'm the alpha, I'm the dominant one here, and like for her to just like look up to me just to like help lead her. Because as of right now, I'm not seeing it. I think that she is kind of getting used to like making up her own rules and doing whatever she wants. Because like when I say no, sometimes she can just like be very like dismissive and like act like I didn't even say it and just do her like own little thing.
Okay.
Sassy.
Okay. So it's like usually when she's getting into bad behavior, she doesn't listen, or she doesn't understand that,
Yeah.
no means don't do that, right?
She does know what she knows what no means, but like sometimes she chooses not to listen.
Okay.
So she has like selective hearing.
Okay. Um,
And I think it like primarily stems down to like her not seeing me as like an authority figure.
yeah. Anything else I should know about Luna?
Uh, oh, and then yeah, recently, so I've been noticing like with like her bones, like she's with this like my boyfriend's pup like all the time, like every day, and she's been like resource guarding like overboard like bones and what else was it?
Some toys sometimes.
Some toys sometimes, yeah.
Okay.
And I
Go
know,
ahead.
and I know, sorry, go ahead.
I'll just go ahead and dive into that a little more.
Yeah, so like, and the funny thing is like she doesn't even like really care that much about the bone. It's more so just like that possession. So like she'll like literally wait for like Maya to be done with her like bone, and she'll be like staring at her the entire time. And just for like Maya to like come over and like kind of sniff her bone, then she'll like kind of snap at her
Mm-hmm.
when she does it, and then she'll like start like eating the bone. But like it, yeah, maybe eating the bone, but like I've just noticed that like it's just so strange that it's not even like she's enjoying the bone at all. It's more so like just waiting for Maya to be done, so then that she can come over and like try to take her bone and she can like snap it at her. It's like the weirdest thing ever. I'm like,
Okay.
why are you doing this?
Has she ever? Is it just like a snap, or is it like the snap that she's doing? Is it touching Maya?
Like yeah, she's gone in a few times.
Okay, and what happens after that? Is it a scuffle, or is it just like Maya's just
Yeah,
like,
it's a little
what?
scuffle. We break it apart like right away. And like now I know like when giving them bones, like I keep a close eye on them like every single time.
Okay. And is the resource guarding just with dogs?
Yeah, just with dogs. She never does it with us.
Okay. And is it food, or is it just like high value treats, or how does that go?
It's just bones and sometimes toys. Sometimes, mostly it's bones.
I love that. High value treats. I'm gonna
Yeah.
start saying that.
Yeah.
Say that again.
I love high value treats. I'm gonna start saying that.
Oh, high value treats. Okay. Okay, so resource guarding of dogs, bones, high value treats, and then nothing with like the humans, right? You said.
Yeah, nothing with the humans. And then like another thing I just noticed is that like she kind of plays rough with puppies too. Sometimes if she knows she's kind of bigger, like she just kind of really goes in. She doesn't like actually hurt them, but she gets in their face and like barks at them, which I kind of find really odd.
Okay.
But that's about it.
Okay. Anything else I should know about Luna?
No, that's about it.
Okay. So, what if you were to have everything you'd want with Luna, right? Let's say you were, everything you'd want. What would life look like, or what is it that you're wanting to? What is it that you're wanting life to look like with Luna if you were to have everything you want? If that makes sense. I think I worded that weird.
No, I understand what you're saying. I would say just like having that strong bond with her and having her like look up to me like I'm the leader, like I'm the pack leader, and being able to have that trust in her to have her off leash and stay by my side, or to come when I tell her to come, and just being able to just have that like freedom with her and being able to develop that like trust and like strong bond as well.
Okay. Okay. So do you guys go like activity wise, on like realistically speaking, like do you guys see yourself doing off leash hiking with her, or is it just like you just want the basics, and it's like it goes, take my dog for a walk, I want that loose leash walking, no reactivity, I go to the dog park,
Yeah.
controlling her playtime, and then I need recall to call her back, and then we go home, and then maybe some ball time in like an open field or something? Or you do all those things and you go to like an outdoor patio and you need Luna to lay by your side for however long until you're done eating? Or you do all those things and then you go off leash hiking, and you want Luna to be running around free, and then you have control over her like that? Or like, where do you see realistically, how does life look like?
Yeah, I think like the second option, just being able to go to like dog parks like that aren't gated and having her like come when I tell her to come and staying close by at the same time. And then also, yeah, like I'd say patios, like she kind of does become like reactive if she sees like another dog like walk by.
I see.
Yeah, like she just starts barking, and it's just, no one wants to hear that while they're having, lunch or dinner. She's like,
Yeah.
Luna, like stop. And, she can kind of go on one. But also, yeah, just like, we go through Lincoln Park a lot, and like we see a lot of people like out there like having like picnics, or just like, like having just like sitting down like with their family. Yeah, and Luna would just straight up run up to them and like just want them to pet her and just like totally crash their picnic and stuff, like but that's when like I know that like recall wouldn't work, because she's easily distracted in those types of environments, and she doesn't listen, and she wants everybody's attention except for mine.
I see. What do you guys walk her on?
Like leash wise or harness?
Harness.
Yep.
Okay.
And I know you guys like recommend the Prong Collar, which I'm definitely for and willing to transition to that.
Yeah, so we asked these questions just because like, what are your goals, what you're trying to kind of address, because we just figuring out what program would work for you, because we're not going to make you do this, you know, a program where like we're giving you all these fancy commands and you're like, I never use this in my life. You know, we're only giving you what you need and what you're wanting. But yes, harnesses promote pulling. So like harnesses are used for huskies, protection dogs, because it creates frustration and stuff like that. So you'll see like those advertisements or like those stickers on the harnesses that say a no pull harness, which is an oxymoron because harnesses are meant to pull, right? So in protection training, you have the handler with the dog on a harness, and then you have the aggressor across. They pull and release. They pull and release because when you pull on a harness, it's like negative pressure here, and it makes the dog frustrated and makes them want to go more forward. So they have opposition reflex. It's when if you pull back, they pull forward. If you pull right, they pull left. If you pull left, they pull right. So it gets annoying. And if you're raising a puppy on a harness, that little cute little, I want to go say hi, no, not today, can start being annoying, right? So they're feeling this pressure and they're like, I'm getting this annoying pressure. I'm seeing this dog. It only happens when I see dogs. You know what? I don't like these dogs. I'm frustrated. And then the frustration turns to reactivity. And then here and there, if it's so long, you know, for the dog's life that they're not addressing this, the frustration can turn to aggression, right? It's rare, but like it can escalate as you know, these owners are using harnesses for the puppies because it's frustrating, right? They want to go there, but then you pull them back and makes them want to go forward. You see how that works?
Right. No, I totally agree.
So yeah, harnesses we don't use. If owners are like, you know, can we use a harness while we're doing e-collar training? It will be very confusing for the dog because you're telling the dog to pull and you're also telling them to not pull. So it's just confusing. But yeah, we also use prong collars. We don't base a program on prong collar. We just incorporate it. But like, you know, I'm assuming did you do research on like the tools we use and the methods we use and all that stuff?
Yeah, I looked briefly into it. It's the shock collars, right? Is what one of them is.
Correct.
That you guys use, and then the prong collar as well. Do you guys use them both simultaneously or just one the other?
It's depending on you if you want to use both. It's like it's the ultimate like combo, prong collar and e-collar. Prong collar is usually
okay. Is it this in the same like I guess like collar? The prong and is it
There's two.
Oh, there's two. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you would have like the prong on top above the e-collar, and then the e-collar here, leash attached to prong. The reason why it's the ultimate combo is because let's say, you know, it's mostly for like the owners who have like the bigger dogs. She's only 17 pounds. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
she
can
is.
No, that's not her. That's Maya. That's Maya. I'll show
Okay,
you
go
Luna.
grab Luna.
This is Luna. This is Luna.
Oh, I see.
You got to see a face of the picture.
No,
right?
that's not her. That's Maya.
They both have very gorgeous colors. I like them. The gray and the white, and then the very, very red.
Yes, she's very red. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, yeah, you're good. So yeah, it's a good combination because prong collar is like there for emergencies in case you can't react fast enough for the remotes and all that stuff. But we'll get into that and everything. So what do you know about e-collar? Or actually, here. So harnesses, like I said, it's meant to pull. Doesn't really get the job done unless you're wanting your dog to pull. If you're wanting that loose leash walk, harnesses won't work. If you're trying to use that as a training tool, then you have the positive only. Does Luna have like a foundation of training, or like has she gone to like puppy classes or something like that? Or if not, it's fine. It doesn't matter.
No, she hasn't gone to any puppy classes. All the trainings from me, like she knows all the simple like sits, lay down, paw, come sometimes and stay sometimes. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, positive only, and then like the balance trainers like us, where we use positive and negative. So positive only has such a low ceiling because, like you said, only when she wants to, right? Because the
Yeah.
worst thing that can happen with um, Luna is that she doesn't get the food, right? If I don't sit, I don't get the food, which I don't care, you know? It's like, or even outside where it's even more difficult. Like she's looking at a dog or a squirrel and you're like, Luna, Luna, and you have your food. She's like, she's looking at your treat thinking, I can get that later, but this squirrel I cannot get later. So I'm gonna go for the squirrel. So that's where owners have a hard time and they get, a lot of owners get like discouraged from it and like they kind of get frustrated with it, right? So then when we, after that is prong collar, or gentle leader. Gentle leader is the one that goes like around the snout and like in the back. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. I call head halter too, or head halty.
Yeah. I've seen them.
Yeah, it's more control for the head because then you can kind of stop the pulling, but it's not correcting or fixing anything. You're just, it's like a little band-aid, right? Then you go to prong collar. Prong collar is a good step forward because it allows you to correct your dog. So the prong collars, I don't know if you've ever seen one. They're like shaped like with the spikes and all, and they close if like you pull the leash, right? It's supposed to mimic a dog bite, and it's very physical, right? Because dogs are physical animals, as you can tell with Maya or Luna with Maya. When she doesn't want Maya to approach her bone, she snaps, right? And then they get into a scuffle or whatever. Or like let's say Maya is, you know, playing with a older dog, and this older dog's like, I don't like your energy, I don't like you jumping on me. Boom, snap with the mouth, like some sort of like correction, right? There's a popular YouTube video out there of a mom. I think she's like a cream retriever or like a Labrador. She's walking into a pen with her puppies, and as she's walking in, all these puppies are greeting her with a lot of excitement, a lot of energy, and she just starts addressing every single one, like snarling and quick bites. She only addresses like three actually, so like three, and they're all, you see all of them just like turn around and like walk away and just like lay down like this, right?
Yeah, I
So
think I've seen that.
dogs have been getting disciplined since they've been puppies, right? So a lot of owners would be like, well, he's just 4 months old, you know, he'll grow out of it, or he's just a puppy. I can't be mean to him, right? You absolutely can. You can correct puppies, right? There's nothing wrong with that. It's if anything, it's really good for puppies to be corrected. So prong is the physicality. That's why it's a good step forward because you can correct, you can give that physical pressure to your dog where it might fix a few things, right? Let's say reactivity, you know, you have the prong on and you give like a leash pop. So leash pop is a little quick yank to correct the behavior. And let's say she doesn't care, she just keeps barking. Well, that's another issue with prong. Sometimes it's not strong enough to override the brain to kind of cut the reactivity. And you'll also get the situation where, and then I'm sorry, was uh, who else like works with Luna? I know it's you, Cynthia. Is there anyone else?
Ryan.
Brian. Brian or
Yeah.
Ryan?
Ryan.
Ryan. Hi, Ryan. So the other issue with prong is Ryan, maybe, you know, he's stronger with the prong. He's stronger with Luna. So Luna might listen to Ryan, right? But then when Cynthia takes the leash, it's just an example. I'm not saying that he's
No, it's very true because
Yeah.
I've noticed that she's like much more like obedient around him and stuff.
Yeah.
But sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah, you're good. And then when Cynthia takes the leash with prong, maybe her strongest yank leash pop is like a 6 out of 10. Ryan is like an 8 or a 7 out of 10. But then Luna can be at a 10. And your strongest leash pop will never override the brain of that reactive moment, right? So then that's another issue with prong. 50, 60% reliable obedience and behavior. And then another con is once you take that leash off, you've just lost all control. So recall is very hard to teach on prong collar because recall isn't recall if it's not off leash trained, right? So once you take the leash off, well, you've lost all control. Then we move on to e-collar, right? E-collar gets us to 90 or even like 100% of reliable obedience, right? Because we don't need the leash to talk to Luna, right? We have the remote and everything like that. Have you guys ever been to a physical therapist?
Yeah, I have once.
Yeah. Have you ever had like the muscle contractor, like it's called TENS unit? Yeah.
Yep.
that same technology is what an e-collar is. It's just a muscle contractor, right? Our brand, Dogtra, has 127 levels, right? So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to 127. Other brands will have like 10 levels, right? So that 10th level power outage is equal to 127. We just have 117 more breaks. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like the issue with like cheaper, lower quality e-collars is like 5 will make Luna yelp, 4 she won't listen. So then it's like, what are you gonna do there, right? So for Dogtra, if 50 is too high, 40 is too low, we can just go 45 and then we're there, you know? And we can be more specific to like the personality, the breed, the situation, the scenario we're in. Um, what else? But yeah, it's just a muscle contractor. Can it get uncomfortable? Yes. As e-collar is also a stressor, right? Because no one likes getting disciplined, right? So once we start e-collar training, Luna's stress response might come out. So she might have like a little bit of anxiety, she might be a little flighty, right? But it's just getting over that hump and having her realize, oh, this is all I have to do, right? With e-collar. And the same thing with prong, you know, all these tools that apply, have discipline with them can cause stress because, you know, they don't want it, you know? What else? Any questions so far about the e-collar?
No, everything makes sense so far. I'm definitely aligned.
Good. Some common questions is, you know, once we're done training with e-collar, does it just come off? Or like once she knows all the commands on e-collar, do we just get rid of it? So on your walks, e-collar would most likely always be on, right? Are you going to be pressing that button all the time? No, it'll just be there for like post training. It'll be there for emergencies, right? Because we can't predict what's going to happen on this walk. Let's say we're walking on a busy street and like a car crash happens right next to us. Well, if you know you're not really paying attention, and then Luna freaks out and just starts lunges, right? And then the leash slips out your hand and then you fall or something. Because I think that's happened to an owner before for Jessie. And the dog just lunged and like she wasn't paying attention and slipped. I think we yanked her a bit and like I think she had like a bruised eye and everything. Like her face slammed the ground. And then he was running and like the only way to bring back a dog in flight mode or in drive, right? Because in flight, dogs are thinking kill or be killed. They're gone. They are not going to listen to Luna, don't do that. Luna, come, right? Or any food, right? In drive mode, where they see something like a squirrel run past and they go, it's just a reactive moment and they just need to do it because it's a moving thing.
Right.
So the only way to override that mindset is with power, and that's what the e-collar comes in handy. That's there for emergencies. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
And now let's say she's an angel in the house, then you don't need the e-collar. Let's say she's an angel in the house, but when guests come over, she kind of gets jumpy and a little excited and you don't like that behavior. Well, then you collar her up 30 minutes prior, address whatever that needs to be addressed. And then if you find that she is relaxed throughout the whole night, then you can just take it off and then you can just, you know, hang out. Do those things make sense?
Yeah.
Or, you know, if you're going to give her a bone, you know, collar her up before, give her the bone.
Do you think it would help with the resource guarding, having the collar on her, and if she decides to like, you know, snap or something, just like spike it up or something?
Yeah. So resource guarding with e-collar is much more healthier way to address it, right? So some trainers use prong for that, and like when they see it, they correct the dog. All right. So Luna has a bone. She's attached to the leash to a human. She doesn't want the human to get the bone, right? And then the human is yanking and saying, no, you don't do that. It's going to be mine. And she's like, no, it's mine. So that turns into an argument. Prong collar corrections are very confrontational because she's seeing the leash attached to you. So she knows it's you. She's thinking we're arguing about it, right? E-collar, she doesn't know it's coming from you, right? Because there's nothing attached to you. she thinks this feeling is from like the universe or something. Like she doesn't know where it's coming from. She's just feeling it and she knows what she has to do, right? So she won't feel it, look at you and be like, what are you doing, right? It won't connect, right? So that's why it's e-collar is non-confrontational. So it's a healthier way to address these things instead of making it an argument and like fighting over it, right?
Right.
Because then that can also like affect your bond relationship with Luna in that way too. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I totally understand.
And then we'll give you commands and all to address the resource guarding. Any questions so far?
No questions on my end.
Okay. Another common question owners have is how come when I take the e-collar off, why does Luna start pulling me again, or starts pressing the boundaries? So do you guys drive on the highway?
No.
No one.
No. Do we drive on the highway?
Yeah.
I mean, I do if I go back home to the suburbs, like which is like
Okay.
maybe 1 month.
Okay. Okay. Do you go the speed limit?
No.
Okay. And then what happens when we see a squad car?
You immediately go the speed limit.
Exactly right. It's called opportunistic behavior. It's just a nature thing. So if we know we can get away with something, we're going to get away with it. So same thing for Luna. It has nothing to do with the way we train, the method, the way you guys practice, the e-collar. It's just nature. Jessie likes to call the e-collar a cop on a collar, right? When it's here, she's like, okay, I know what this means. I know I have to behave or else I'll get consequence. Some dogs don't become collar awareness, whereas collar aware means like they still act behave because they think that's just life is, right? But some dogs catch on very quickly and they know, oh, it's gone. I'm going to try a few things. And then like, if it's gone, you can't correct these things. And they're realizing, oh, I'm getting away with it, but I'm not getting correct. I'm doing these things I'm not supposed to be doing, but I'm not getting corrected, right? So it's just opportunistic behavior. It's a nature thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So were you guys looking for like a board and train or daycare and train or in-person lessons or?
Yeah, so I was looking at the one-on-one training in your home. Perhaps maybe the 6-week or the 9-week, whatever you recommend based on like what you know so far on Luna.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And we say in-home, you want us to travel to you? Because right now we're operating at Oz Park or the facility. We also do in-home. It's just that it might be an increased price for you.
Okay.
It's up to you. I'm not saying,
Yeah, you gotta figure out what it is.
Yeah, I'd probably say like in home, and I have like parks near us. Like we live in Gold Coast, so I mean it's. I think I'd probably say like in the home.
Okay, how far are you guys from the facility? Just so I know.
Are you guys in Logan Square?
Yes.
Yeah, so
20
we're
minutes away.
20 minutes away probably.
Okay. Yeah, I assume we were far because you're like Logan. Like it was like
Logan Square?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just never go out there that much.
Yeah.
And I don't have a car either, so that would just be very difficult to go back and forth.
Sounds good. Yeah. I have to check to see if it's called in-home or we just add a travel fee, or the in-home is the travel fee added to the program. I forget right now, but yeah, that works. So in person, we have the 6-week program, the 9-week program, and the 12-week. 6-week is you walk your dog around the block, you go to the dog park, you need recall. The 9-week is I walk my dog around the block, I need recall, and I also go to the restaurants. And then 12-week is the off-leash hiking and everything like that, right? So you be more in like the 9-week, 6-week programs,
I'd probably do the 9-week in home just so we can, correct everything at once.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And then 9-week program. We meet, for example, Saturdays, 3 p.m. for 10 weeks, right? You're doing the 9-week program, but you have 10 slots. because in case of a cancellation or if something happens where we need to reschedule, you still have a slot for you that's reserved for you that no one can take away, right? Once that slot has been used, then you have to wait for more availability so that we can come and do that last session or however many sessions you have left. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so it's just once a week, correct?
Correct. For an 1 hour once a week, we give you one topic to practice for the week, and then we give you another topic every class. Everything is recorded, so then if you forget something or you like, how did we do that again in lesson 1, you can, like, you know, Jesus San Miguel, that's the owner, that's his YouTube channel name, Luna lesson 1, and then you can see, I mean, we have a lot of Lunas actually, so you'll see your thumbnail and everything, you'll see you know, your lesson and video and everything like that. So you can rewatch your videos. You can also rewatch this consultation if it gets posted. So 2 classes would be heel, which is like the walk command to address the leash pulling, right? You'd want to get a flat collar, a regular collar for her, and get rid of that harness. If you want to go to the prong, we can do that as well. It's up to you. It's not needed for the training. So 2 weeks.
Wait.
Oh,
What about the e-collar?
yes. So I'll send you a follow-up email, right, with the e-collar model I recommend for you. 12 months, 17 pounds. She's probably just gonna get like maybe the most 20 pounds more, correct?
No, wait, sorry.
She's fully grown.
She's fully grown.
Oh, okay. So I'll send you a follow-up email with the programs we talked about, the pricings, the e-collar I recommend for her, a link to Amazon to order that e-collar, or you can purchase through us. It's up to you. Since you live far, you know, if you want to order it on Amazon, get it and then fiddle around with it. And then when we come to class 1, you have some sort of like knowledge about it, right, with the directions and all. Or you can purchase through us. Same price, same thing. And then a agreement form that needs to be signed. Once that form is signed, then we go into billing and booking from there on. So yes, that's where the e-collar, because you said what about the e-collar? So that's where, okay, yeah. So then for the 9-week sorry.
So for like the prong collar, like I don't know if you can see this one right now. Like, is this like a good one to use?
That is not the brand we recommend. It's called Herm Springer, HERMSPRENGER.
Herm Springer, and you can find it on Amazon, right?
Yeah, you want to get maybe the 2.25 millimeter or the 3. I'm not sure. Probably the 2.25. Okay. And I'll send you a link to that as well if you want. And we also sell prong collars. What else? Yeah, so you can order the prong collar, you know, first. You can, you know, get that started, you know, get her acclimated to it. There are specific ways to kind of teach prong collar, but like I said, it's not needed. It's just there if you want it. So yeah, so 9-week program, 2 classes on the reactivity and leash pulling, right? Which is called heel. So heel is an obedience command, right? So we have obedience and we have behavior. Think of obedience and behavior as, like, for the humans, obedience is math, science, English, social studies, right? Then behavior is don't lie, don't steal, don't cheat, don't rob, don't, you know, all those things, right? If someone is having like issues with, like, I guess, for example, like they're like a murderer, or like they're crazy, right? You wouldn't teach them math, science, and English to fix that issue, right? That they don't connect. Same thing for dogs. So an obedience command wouldn't really fix behavior command. But the reason why our obedience command on heel would fix reactivity is because the way we teach heel, right? Heel is walk with me, stay with me, sit when I stop. If we take 5 steps with Luna, Luna takes fastest. If we take 10, Luna takes 10. And this is all done with a slack leash in any environment. And then when we come to a stop on our walk, she's to automatically sit. And this is all done, no words said, right? Once we teach that level of obedience to her, like that heel command, she shouldn't even care what's going on over here, right? Because she's so focused of having this right shoulder glued to your left leg. And if she messes up, she's getting corrected. So she's like, okay, I need to watch where mom's going. I don't care about this stuff, right? So we can actually, we had a board and train here who was very reactive. We did our training here. We took her out for her first walk. She didn't react. She didn't even care. She didn't do anything, right? So sometimes it just, certain things go away by themselves, like overstimulation. Overstimulation is when like dogs, you take a dog for a walk and they're like all over the place. They're like smelling, they're picking stuff up, they're barking, they're just all over. You go for like an hour-long walk. You come home expecting your dog to be tired, but they're zooming around like they still have energy, right? That's overstimulation. They don't have a job. So the heel also gives them a job. So it's also tackling the overstimulation. So on the reactivity spectrum, what goes away first is like humans. If there's any reactivity to humans, then it goes like bikes, scooters, skateboards, and calm dogs. Then it goes other reactive dogs, and then it goes like you turn the corner and there's a dog there, right? So that's how it kind of goes as we're tackling reactivity. So 2 classes on heel, 2 classes on recall, and then you have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You have 6 more classes, right? So we can spend more time dealing with reactivity, so we have more wiggle room to kind of work around that. And then since you have a lot of wiggle room, we can give you the commands for like stationary control, like, you know, go to your bed, don't move, stay here, don't move, lay down and don't move for an hour or 2 hours until we're done eating and being respectful with the dogs on the patio and everything. Does that make sense? How the 9-week program would kind of work?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
What else? Am I missing anything? Does she have any friends, dog friends, or is she social? Like without the without? Is she?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is she social?
Yeah, she's really friendly. We go to dog parks like every day, especially one that's enclosed that's kind of near me, and she's completely fine. She does get kind of barky like sometimes, just starts like or like noisy, but then again, like she's always been like very vocal when she plays too, and when she sees like other dogs like playing, I think she thinks like they're fighting and she tries to like get in the middle and start barking at them. I don't know if it's like her way of trying to like break it up or something, but
yeah,
I have noticed that. But I mean, to answer your question, like, yeah, no, she still is friendly, and she plays around with other dogs, and right now she's
about to start doing
playing with Maya.
okay, yeah, that's good play. Yeah. So yeah, the using the e-collar, the dog parks can do a lot of things. When she's barking at these other dogs, it could be her trying to be like, don't do that. Why are you guys playing like that? You know, but then you give her like, you know, a touch on the e-collar, like, don't worry about that. She's like, oh, okay. You know, then
Yeah, I like that idea.
And it's so much, it saves so much time because you don't have to walk over there. You don't have to say anything. All you gotta do is just press a button, you know? Same thing for like, you know, if you think she's getting too rough in play, you can use the e-collar for that. Saves a lot of time, effort. And this is all done once she recognizes the concept of e-collar, right? Like I said, she's not going to know it's coming from you. She's thinking it's the universe. So once she realizes, oh, that she's the one that's in control of it, that she's the one that turns it on and off, that Luna controls that, right? Then she's going to get it, right? She'll understand it. E-collar is also very transferable. So when we're working with couples, partner number 1, whoever goes first is partner number 1, right? They do all the hard work. Then they hand the dog and e-collar and all the tools to partner number 2. And once they do their turn, it's super easy, right? Because when you press the button on 30, and when Ryan presses the number on 30, it's the same. There's no like, well, why does Luna listen to Ryan more than me, or Luna listens to Cynthia more than Ryan? It won't happen because it's the same feeling, right? There's no strength. There's no who's stronger than who or more, you know, there is who's more like who allows more gray area, right? If like Luna is like passing you, or like, you know, she's getting away with certain things on these walks, she's knowing that, okay, when I'm with Ryan, I can, you know, pee poop whenever I want, but if I'm with Cynthia, I don't do these things, so I need to be on top of my game. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah, so if you have like a, I don't know, if you ever end up getting a dog walker, you know, you can teach them how it works. And then once Luna feels this with the dog walker, she's like, oh, okay, it's the same thing with this dog walker, you know? So reactivity, correcting behavior.
And then I think we just,
Oh, in the home. Oh, sorry.
I was also just going to mention the separation anxiety. Is that also going to factor into like the sessions that we have as well?
Yeah, so that'll be like an in-home thing, what you're doing. I'll give you like ideas and tools and what to do. It's kind of playing it by ear with that, but the e-cog will play a part in that. It's going to be a little hard because again, it's when you're away, but since you have that camera, you're technically able to address it. Other behaviors in the home, like what are you usually saying no to, or like what are you trying to correct in the home besides the separation anxiety?
Probably just like barking when she hears something in the hallway.
Okay.
That's a lot of the time. What was that?
You guys live in an apartment?
Yeah.
Or okay.
An apartment building, like a high rise. So just a lot of activity going on. If she hears like a door slam or someone talking in the hallway, she immediately like starts barking. And it's when I just always try to correct and say no, and she'll start to quiet down, but still like barking a little bit.
Okay.
What else do we do?
Nothing really inside.
Yeah, she's pretty good inside other than,
She's fine.
yeah, it's
Just the bones.
yeah, just the bones, and when she hears people outside too.
Yeah. Well, we can address that throughout the program. And sometimes certain things just go away on its own as we're starting to add discipline to Luna's life, you know.
Yeah, I think she just needs a lot more like structure in her life as well, and that will kind of help with, you know, a lot of the behavioral issues she's been having.
Yeah. What else? And you know, we don't go like, you know, don't let your dog on the bed, you know, only feed in the crate. We don't do all these things, right? It's your house, your rules. It's whatever you do for Luna has no effect on the training or how, you know, much respect she shows you. Just heads up on that. So, you know, do whatever you're doing with Luna. But so I got, you know, reactivity, correcting behaviors in home, separation anxiety, resource guarding, rough play, recall, 9-week program. Okay. Anything else?
The what?
No, that's it.
Okay. So yeah, keep an eye out for that follow-up email. As soon as you sign the agreements, the sooner we can get started. No rush. It's just up to you when you want to get started, right?
Yeah, and hopefully ASAP. So if I sign it by, let's say tomorrow, if you send it by tomorrow, will we kind of get started sometime next week, or like, we just kind of have to like wait until there's like a slot open?
So I work with like your availability. So once you sign it, if you sign it, right, just go and just send me your availability, and then we'll start booking and billing immediately to get you in, right? But most likely, yeah, if you sign it like
Session.
Are sessions with the same person?
Yes. So if you know, you can continue with me, or you know, if you want to, it'll be a longer way if you want to do Jesse, because Jesse does the behavior intense behavior, right? I just do like the basics, like reactivity, other like I guess intense behaviors are just the basic stuff. So like it'll be with me, and it'll be me consistently with every session.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's perfect.
So once you sign it, you can just send me an email. Oh.
Wait, sorry.
Payment up, do you pay up front?
So do I pay up front for all the sessions?
Oh yeah, so in the follow-up email, I'll include what a payment plan would look like. It's going to be half down before the first class, and then the other half is broken down into and throughout the program, right? Or you can pay in full as well. You can do that as well. It's up to you. So once you sign it, send me an email. Hey Enrique, just signed it. This is my availability. I would like to move forward with the payment plan, or I would like to pay in full, and then we'll get invoicing set up and then get you on the calendar.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. Sounds good.
And if any other questions arise, or like, if you think of something about the e-collar or program or anything like that, you feel free to email me and I'll answer your questions. But other than that, keep an eye out for that follow-up email. It should be sent out tomorrow. If not tomorrow, the next day. Anything else?
No, I'd say that's about it. I'll keep my eyes peeled for the email and then go ahead and shoot it over as soon as I can. Definitely by the end of this week for sure. And then do I text you directly or do I email you?
Yeah, it's the Enrique@canineperspective.com.
Okay.
The one that,
It's okay. You emailed me the invite, right?
correct, yes.
Okay. I'll just take it from there.
Cool.
Cool. Sounds good.
Nothing else. It was very nice speaking to you, Cynthia and Ryan. Nice meeting Maya and Luna. And like I said, just keep an eye out for that email, and then we'll be in touch.
Yeah, likewise. I look forward to working with you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.
Bye.